I'm not a photographer, which is why I haven't really shot photos in the last couple of years, but Lumix has kind of got me wanting to shoot photos again. This is the S1II and the S9, which both make me want to shoot photos again. And the way that Lumix handles photos has just been so much easier. I don't have to edit anything. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. When the S9 first came out, it had two features that are sort of new and unique to this camera to a degree, and that is the fact that you can just load LUTs straight into this and basically burn that straight into your JPEGs, and the fact that you have the Lumix Lab app, so you can just transfer them straight to your phone in like 30 seconds. Both of those features are on the S9 and also all the new S1 cameras, so the S1II, the S1II+, and the S1R2. And those are the two main features that made me want to take photos. On the S9, for example, I have my picture profile set to my photo style 1. And this is different to using the real-time LUT feature where you can just turn on a LUT and you can switch between LUTs and stuff like that. But this one, you can also add other effects. So you can do contrast, highlights, shadows, saturation, hue, all that sort of stuff as well. But the biggest thing that I've liked, because when I made this LUT in the Lumix Lab app, by the way, I didn't add any grain, but I can add the grain in camera by just adding the grain effect. I did have it on high for a while, but then, you know, a couple of days ago, I decided to try standard. So I've turned the grain down a little bit because I thought it was a little bit too much. But I've got standard grain on and color noise off. So it's not gonna have any color noise, no chroma noise. So it's not gonna look like digital noise. It'll look more like film noise, which is a little bit more pleasing. And one thing about the S9 in particular, especially while traveling, is it is just so small that, you know, the camera itself is just that. Now, I do wish that I had a smaller lens, and I do want to get Sigma's new contemporary prime lenses. They look really nice. They're like, I'd get like a 20mm and a 65. They would also match the silver of the S9 here. I just have the kit 20 to 60 lens right now, which is not great because it is variable aperture and it is quite big for, you know, this camera, but it's still a lot easier to just put this strap over my shoulder and then just carry this around, especially while traveling. However, I have been shooting a lot of photos and video on the S1II. And since I'm traveling right now, I decided to use today's sponsor, Skillshare, to actually take a travel photography class. Because, as I said, I haven't really done much photography in the last couple of years, so I thought I'd just sort of refresh using Skillshare. Right now I'm taking a class called Travel Photography, How to Document and Share Your Next Trip, and it has been talking about stuff like things to look for, the best types of cameras to use, and how to document intentionally while also living in the moment and experiencing the travel. Obviously, Skillshare has so many other classes for any different creative niche that you'd want. Graphic design, photography, video, animation, anything that you would want to learn. Even personal development and meditation is on there, and they're all taught by experienced professionals in their given industry. And if you want to check out Skillshare for yourself, the first 500 people who click the link in the description or scan the QR code that's on the screen right now will get a 1-month free trial for Skillshare, so you can get started today. So when it comes to shooting photo and video on the S9, I have all my video settings set to C1, and I can just turn the dial to C2, and that's just all my photo settings already set up. So I don't have to do many changes. And then on the S1II, there's just the mode switch under the left dial, so you can just switch between photo and video, and I can leave it on C1 and just have both of those modes really accessible. And one more thing to add to the lack of editing, because the whole purpose of doing all this for photos is I don't have to edit anything. And one of the things that I really like about these cameras is I can set one of the custom buttons to switch aspect ratio. On the S9, I have the LUT button set because I'm not changing LUTs all the time. I'm not even using the real-time LUT feature. So I just press the LUT button and it brings up the aspect ratio menu. I just press it however many times I want to get to the crop that I want. I've been shooting a lot of stuff in 65x24, which is like the X-Pan sort of widescreen mode. And then a lot of stuff in 16:9 vertical for social media sort of thing, and some in even 1:1 square. And having that button really accessible on this can be really easy to adjust the aspect ratio again, so I don't have to crop anything in post. If I'm shooting a horizontal shot like this, I'll probably want to shoot it more of a widescreen for like that 65:24 crop, which is more of that wide CinemaScope type X-Pan, you know, aspect ratio. So I want to take a photo of this tree with this nice background here. And then if I also want a vertical version of that shot, I'll just click my aspect ratio button a few times till I get to 16:9, and then do the same thing. I can set my focus point with the joystick here. Let's say I want like that. Take the photo, and then I have a vertical already cropped 16:9 and a horizontal 65:24 crop. And then if I wanted any other crops, I could just do that as well because I had that button set to change the aspect ratio. And that goes back to my point earlier of not having to do any editing because they already all have the LUTs and the crop that I want for them. So I just have to choose which of the photos that I've taken that I want to do anything with. And one thing with shooting hybrid, at least with this camera and lens setup, is I do have a 1:5 stop ND on here, which is not ideal for photos, but I've just been trying to make sure I set it to 1 stop for photos so I'm not shooting at a particularly high ISO or low shutter speed for no reason. But it's a lot easier than just like unscrewing and screwing it on. Now, if I did have a magnetic one, it could be easier, but for the most part, this isn't too bad, and I don't really care that much if it's like a little bit too grainy. For videos, you definitely need the ND when I'm shooting out in the bright sun like this. One thing I've noticed about these Lumix cameras as well, and this is something that is not new, everyone knows Lumix has really good stabilization, but the stabilization in photo mode is really, really good. Like, as soon as you hit the half-press shutter button, it just basically turns into a tripod, which is super nice for just doing handheld photography sort of stuff. Okay, now with the Lumix Lab app, I've got the Lumix Lab app open on my phone here, and what I'm gonna do on the camera is turn on Bluetooth. I generally like to leave Bluetooth turned off because I don't wanna waste extra battery that I don't need to waste. And then what I'll do is I'll go into the camera connection page on the Lumix Lab app here, connect the camera. Usually it's pretty good. I have had a couple issues where I had to hit forget and then reconnect it. Okay, so when I open the menu now, I've got Bluetooth as the first thing that always pops up. I can switch that on, and then once that is switched on, I can see it in the Lumix Lab app. If I need to pair a new device, you got pairing, obviously. I can also do the send image via the camera itself, and you can like single select or multi-select, and I can just go through all my photos that I want to send, or I can then just go through all of the photos and videos. However, you can't transfer full size, 6K 10-bit videos straight to your phone. I think maybe at least with the S9, if you shoot an MP4 Lite, you can, but for the most part, I just been using this for photos and been backing up videos to my computer. So now I've got all the photos just sort of available there, and then I'll just select the ones that I want to transfer, and I can transfer them straight to my phone. And it takes a few seconds per photo, so if you're going to do like 50 photos, it might take a couple minutes. Let's say I only want to get these few photos of this waterfall here. I'm going to select those, transfer them. 3 photos is taking, that's 1, 2, yeah, it takes a few seconds to do each photo, and there's 3 files already on my phone right now, so then I can just post them straight to Instagram. So it can be a very quick process. Now, if you leave Bluetooth on, it can be even quicker, but I just like to turn it on and off depending on what I'm doing because I don't want to waste that battery. But I do put the Bluetooth setting in the My Menu setting, so it opens up straight into that, so I can just click on the Bluetooth menu item, so I don't have to go and find it every time. So all of these photo features especially has made me switch from Sony to Lumix. I no longer have any of my Sony stuff, and it's not only the photo features. Obviously, I'm not a photographer, but I have really enjoyed taking photos now. Lumix obviously has a lot of video features that I really wanted and that I will use a lot. But if you want to go see one of my other videos that I made a first impressions of the S1II, go check that out. I will make a full review of the S1II and a video about the S9. Do all the other things, go watch another video, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.